We got a serious problem with the Cowboys. And speaking as a Cowboys fan, yeah, LarryBoy Fanatic is a Dallas Cowboys fan. Yeah, it's pretty upsetting. And I know it's week 2 of the NFL season. But damn, 44-19? Cowboys, what the hell happened? Alright, so yesterday being September 15th, yeah, we were up against New Orleans. And in the first quarter, New Orleans managed to score 2 touchdowns. I mean, it's unbelievable. Totally unbelievable. Our defense was bad. Our quarterback, Dak Prescott, looked like he didn't know what the hell he was doing. Allows himself to get sacked. And you know what's funny about Dak Prescott? Is that he was holding back on renewing his contract. He was in contract talks with Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. It was like before the season started, they were trying to set up a contract to renew it or something like that. It was like they either renew the contract or let him go somewhere else and go on another team. But it's like Dak Prescott took forever to sit at the table and be like, okay, we'll have a contract, I'll sign it. Because originally the contract was going to be $60 million. But according to this here, he ended up renewing his contract, and guess what? He signed a $240 million contract extension. It's like that much money. What is this? Guarantees $231 million, $80 million signing bonus with $1.25 million as the base salary. I mean, come on. I mean, he could have just kept his mouth shut and taken the $60 million. But the word is he was like holding out on this contract signing on purpose because it's like, oh, I could play for any team. It's like yada yada yada. But the thing is with Dak Prescott, he could do good at the regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, Cowboys have this history of choking. They could be the best team on the NFL franchise, but they slip up come playoffs. But people are acting like, oh, well, Dak Prescott is the best. He's the best. Yeah, he's the best during regular season, but come playoff time, he just chokes. Now, the quarterback, for those of you who don't know, he's the captain. He's the go-to. Like, a quarterback has to be quick on their feet. Like, they see a person throw the ball, and it's like, doing this, doing that. He's like, he's the captain of the ship. And if the captain is choking and just like, not knowing where the hell he's at or whatever, it's like the whole team's gonna fall apart. And we've seen this time and time again every season with the Dallas Cowboys. And it's like people are catching on to that, and yet Jerry Jones wants to give him more money. It's like Jerry Jones should have put his foot down. It's like, like I'm not gonna give you any more money until you actually do good at playoffs. When I was watching the Saints versus the Cowboys, yeah, I checked out at the second quarter because I knew for a fact that we were not going to come back from this. Like, this was an embarrassing loss. Week 2, when last week we were dominating over the Cleveland Browns. We were dominating over them. And to see get trampled all over by the New Orleans Saints is like we went from hero to zero quick. So like I said, I stopped watching at the second quarter because it was embarrassing. Our defense was lame. Dak Prescott was lame. The only good players we had at the time was CeeDee Lamb. And you know what's funny is that I used to have a Dak Prescott t-shirt for like a couple of years, and then just like last NFL season I threw that away. I threw it away because why would I want to support a player that does well in the regular season but fucks it up come playoffs? And they're like saying, oh, don't blame Dak Prescott, our defense was okay. You're probably right that, yeah, I agree on that aspect that the defense was not doing a good job, but we also gotta blame Dak Prescott because, like I said, as quarterback, you're supposed to be the leader of the team. You're supposed to be the captain. You're supposed to be steering the team in the right direction. If you hesitate, then you're going to get trampled on. You're going to get sacked. And that's what we saw in this previous game. Now I'm going to point you to this video, this recent video from ESPN, and give props to Stephen A. because he's one of the commentators that's well spoken and has been critical of the Dallas Cowboys. And I gotta agree with some of his stuff here. So they're talking about the recent Cowboys game with New Orleans. I'm just gonna point out like the stuff I agree on and stuff I want to commentate on. You know,
a lot of surprises, a lot of upsets.
Yeah, no.
Dallas, tough loss to say the least. Shay,
it's like, look at him, like so stupid. And
you're trying to play complimentary football and your defense is struggling to stop.
You want to do your part and score touchdowns and.
Okay, well, why don't you do your part and throw the ball instead of just hesitating? Or, here's an idea, take initiative. It's like the quarterback is allowed to not only throw the ball, but also get a touchdown. Even if you have to carry the team at this point, why not do that? You're supposed to be a leader of your team. And look at you all stupid in the face. And it's like, don't be surprised at this. It's like, why didn't we do this? Why didn't we? You know, I used to have a lot of respect for Dak Prescott. I saw him as a rising star. I saw him as somebody who could play ball. He could definitely play ball. I'm not saying that. But when it comes to the playoffs, and these commentators have said that over and over and over, he chokes at playoffs. And the Saints blow out Cowboys. And a 16-game home win streak is snapped. Well, Jerry Jones, this was money well spent. Are you sure you don't regret giving this guy a $240 million contract? I mean, that money should have went towards, I don't know, CeeDee Lamb, one of our better players, who's actually done a good job.
You want to do your part and score touchdowns and come back and score touchdowns.
Haven't done it.
We will correct this. We will improve.
No, that ship is sailed. It's like, you keep telling us that every year, but it's like, that was like a breathtaking display of idiocy. It was like, what the hell is that with the New Orleans Saints? You're going to work to fix it? I don't know why I brought this out. I think where Jerry Jones really messed up was allowing Dak Prescott to dangle his talent over him like a carrot. I feel like Dak Prescott manipulated Jerry Jones to give him more money in the contract. It's like, oh, I could play for any team because I got all this talent. It's like, this feels so manipulative. CeeDee Lamb doesn't even act like that. It's like, you could play for any team. Well, we should have traded Dak Prescott. And you know Cooper Rush? Cooper Rush is our backup quarterback. And you know when Dak Prescott had that hand injury a couple of years ago? I think it was a couple of years ago. Cooper Rush stepped it up. Like, he was doing great. He was a great leader for our team. He was taking initiative. He was making good throws, good passes. He was really great. Like, at first, when I heard about Cooper Rush replacing Dak Prescott that year, I was like, I don't know. But I watched the games, and I saw how great Cooper Rush was. I just don't like the fact that some commentators on ESPN are trying to downplay Cooper Rush. Okay, worst margin in Cowboys home openers. We set a record. Last regular season loss at home. I mean, that's just crazy. It blows my mind. It blows me away that we lost terribly in week 2. Understand that, week 2.
Yesterday was the third worst in a home opener in franchise
third worst
history.
I gotta keep saying that I stopped watching at the end of the second quarter because it was bullshit. Definitely bullshit.
Was the Cowboys' loss to the Saints shocking?
It was shocking, yes.
What could all the teams do? Run the football. What gives them a problem when they play the 49ers?
Yeah, they need to run the
49ers
football.
can run the football. Crushing playoff
See,
loss
our
last year.
defense.
What did Aaron Jones do?
Yeah.
Run the ball down their throat. You remember a couple
They leave
years
the door
ago,
right
Arizona
open.
Cardinals.
Yeah, definitely blame the defense for this game, but also blame the leadership. And I'm not talking about the coach, Mike McCarthy of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm talking about Dak Prescott. It's like, Dak, if you're seeing that your defense is failing, you need to pick up the slack. You need to take initiative. That's one of his biggest flaws, and other teams are taking advantage of that. They're taking a look at Dak Prescott and being like, okay, well, this guy doesn't know how to take initiative. He doesn't know how to be a good leader of his team. Let's take advantage of that. Let's sack him every chance we get.
Because you're going to put a lot of pressure
Okay,
on Dak.
blame the
They
defense,
need a number
but
two
also
guy.
blame
Tover's
Dak
gonna have to step
Prescott.
up. I'm not surprised the Cowboys lost. I think, but everybody's surprised in the fashion in which they lost.
Not
Yeah,
surprising at
I'm
all.
surprised
Cowboys are an
too.
average I've said that all offseason. They're an average football team. If you paid attention to this style of offense, the Cowboys have always struggled over the past couple years with this offense. That's why when it comes to misdirection, when it comes to motion, when it comes to play action pass, when it comes to cut split receiver, Shannon, everything you know about this offense.
It's like all
the Cowboys.
It's all about planning. It's all about planning. And if one part of the team is failing, then the rest of the team is going to fail. There has to be that one person, that one section of the team that has to step it up. And I didn't see anybody step it up except for CD Lamb. And then we have like other players like Cooks. Cooks stepped it up. And I'm pretty sure there's like a couple of other players that stepped it up too. They're realizing, hey, our defense is not doing much. Dak Prescott is not helping us either. So other people are taking initiative. So anywho,
with the spine of their defense struggles with handling.
yeah, there is no spine. I'm gonna look up, like, when did Dallas Cowboys end up going to the Super Bowl? The last time Dallas Cowboys went to the Super Bowl.
The Cowboys have not made the Super Bowl since the 1995 season when they defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers to bring home the Lombardi Trophy.
Since 1995, ladies and gentlemen. 1995 was when I was like close to 2 years old. I wasn't even old enough to understand what football was. I mean, that must have been a really exciting moment for Dallas Cowboys fans to win the Lombardi Trophy, to win Super Bowl. It's like, I would think if you're being paid $240 million to extend your contract, to get paid that much money, I would think you would want to go to the Super Bowl so badly. But a performance like this, you're not getting us any closer to Super Bowl.
I'm not surprised by this. And candidly, this has got to be concerning to the Cowboys. Five teams that they play
concerning.
Over the next 5 week foundation
Dak
of who they
doesn't
are.
even know how to
offensively, they struggled.
throw
Dak had missed throws.
because he hesitates. He's like, he's holding the ball, and it's like, doesn't know what he's doing. And when he realizes he needs to throw the ball or just make a run for it, it's too freaking late. He's already taken down by the other team. He was even sacked in the first game of the season, believe it or not. And when I saw that in the first game of the season of this season, I was like, well, that's money well spent. Why did we give this guy a brand new contract? Why did we give him this much money? $240 million? I even brought this up to Junior Boy, and he has to agree with me too. Believe you me.
Oh, this ain't a discussion today about Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys office. They were put in a bad spot.
The reason why they put in a bad spot is because nobody is taking initiative. Nobody's stepping up and saying, okay, our defense is slacking off. Our quarterback is not doing a great job. One of us needs to take initiative. And we have to remember, I have to reiterate the fact that Dak Prescott was given a lot more money in his contract than the original $60 million. Because originally it was going to be $60 million, but then I guess Dak Prescott manipulated Jerry Jones to give him more money than that. It's like, you don't deserve a cent. You don't deserve a penny until you get us to Super Bowl. Dak Prescott owes it to the Dallas Cowboys and the Dallas Cowboys owner, Jerry Jones, to get us to Super Bowl. None of this hesitating when trying to throw the ball. None of this hesitating and getting sacked by the other team. It's been years. It's been years. So don't just blame the defense. Also blame Dak. Because at the end of the day, a quarterback is supposed to be the leader of the team. They're supposed to be the man with the plan. And Dak had no plan. He went on the field with no plan. Sure, he might have made a few good throws, but he needs to do that like for every single quarter of the game. He's supposed to be wowing us instead of disappointing us.
I mean, that's an ass kicking, okay? I mean, damn. All right?
Yeah, that's
so
definitely an ass kicking.
Do you realize, guys, that this is the first time in 56 years that a team
Wow.
allowed 44 plus points in consecutive home games.
How many years was
Consecutive
that?
home games.
Hang on, didn't quite catch the years. It's a lot of years, but I didn't catch the
Situation right
number.
here, right now, that this is the first time in 56 years that a
First time in 56 years that the Cowboys allow the other team to score up to 40 points. That's disappointing. I'm pretty sure that back in the day, the Cowboys wouldn't have allowed that. Yeah, I believe I shared this with the junior boy, and I told him that I agreed with a lot of the stuff that was being said on here. Junior boy and I talk NFL a lot. So he's one of my confidants when it comes to football. So this was a month ago.
He can't be franchised and he can't be transitioned.
Can't be franchised, can't be transitioned. But this guy is talking about Dak Prescott looking for a contract extension. Now, this was before he was able to get more money in his contract.
And he can open up the bidding for his services. Dak Prescott's going to get a deal north of $60
Services,
million
what
a year.
services?
It might be more, way more.
He's not providing
Oh,
those
Harry in the
services.
flesh now.
Okay, I love this headline here. Should Cowboys pull out all the stops to sign Dak? It's like they should not be pulling out all the stops. And that's exactly what they did. The one thing that we didn't want happening, it happened. It's like Jerry Jones, like I said, he bent the knee to a quarterback that does well in the regular season but chokes at playoffs.
Okay.
All right, listen
I know
to
you want
this.
to laugh about Cooper Rush, who's 5-1 as a starter. 5-1
Yeah.
So there's other opponents on a roster that you can use that money that you would have paid Dak.
Use
Having
that
a
money
relatively
towards
serviceable quarterback
other
at the very least.
players
Why do I
that
bring
are
something like
getting it
that
right. Now, Dak is being given all this money every year. He screws up at playoffs. No Super Bowl entry. No Super Bowl title. And yet we're paying him all this money. See the problem here? That's why he doesn't deserve the money, because he's not pulling his end of the bargain.
I'm not calling Dak Prescott any names. I know the brother can ball. I know he's not a scrub. I know he can play.
Yeah, of course he can ball.
The brother has choked in a couple of playoff games.
And it's kind of sad that if you could ball and yet you screw up at playoffs, it's like, it still blows my mind. I feel like Dak Prescott is motivated only by money. It's like, how much can I swindle from the Dallas Cowboys owner to give me more money? I'll use my talents as an excuse. I'll use my services, talk about how valuable I am. Then I'll hit him up with more money. And I don't think that's right. Because if you're getting paid to do a job, then you're expected to do your job. Otherwise, your employer is going to be like, hey, you're not doing a good job, you're fired, get out. And I believe that Stephen A. hit the nail on the head in this video.
When you talk to players and you bring up Dak Prescott,
listen to this.
Incredible guy, great character, great regular season quarterback. When you bring up the playoffs, don't their whole body language change? Don't they all
they hesitate. Like when it comes to playoffs, it's like we could talk great about him in the regular season, but when it comes to playoff time, it's like, ah, man, freaking Dak Prescott screwed up. But now we're seeing the same thing with regular season when he's continuously getting sacked, getting bombarded by the other players from the other team. No decision making when it comes to him having the ball. Instead of like saying, hey, I'll throw it to this guy, or I'll just make a run for it. Not taking initiative. That's been one of his biggest problems so far. And now we're starting to see that bleed into the regular season, to where he's screwing up in the regular season.
Expectations run out the window.
Out the window.
All
Exactly.
Of a sudden, as the lights intensify, this brother folds.
Dak Prescott, whenever there's pressure, he can't deal with pressure.
The fans believe it.
Keep in mind, this video was a month ago. Fast forward to today, jumped from 55.4 million to 60 million, and now to 240 million. I don't think he deserved that much money. It's like, he hasn't earned that rate. It was like, a lot of reports were saying he was holding off on the contract. Like, there was no deal done, no decision made. I just feel like that was manipulative on Dak Prescott's part, Because if you're not doing your job as quarterback, then who are you to tell the owner of Dallas Cowboys, hey, I need more money? Who are you to have control of how much you get in your contract? You haven't earned that right. Let's talk about the market. And since Dak Prescott claims to have services, in my mind, it's like, okay, if he's not doing a good job with the Dallas Cowboys, why can't we trade him? And we're going to see in a little bit, you're going to hear that his contract says that he's not tradable. We can't trade him because the contract does not allow him to be traded off. And that's what pisses me off, because we would have been better without him. Why? Because he's not doing his job. He's not playing ball like he's supposed to when it comes to playoff time. We have not seen a Super Bowl win since 1995, and it's shameful that we're bending the knee to Dak Prescott because he wants more money without even earning the right. Like, he has no right to ask for more money because he hasn't taken us to Super Bowl. I just don't think he earns that right. And that's one of the reasons why I threw away my Dak Prescott t-shirt, because I'm not going to support somebody that fucks it up every playoff. And I also got to put this on Jerry Jones also. At first I was feeling sorry for Jerry Jones because when the playoffs happened last season and we lost, we were eliminated, Jerry Jones was pretty upset about that. It's like the news talked about it. Like, Jerry Jones was frustrated. It's like, to be an owner of a football franchise for so many years and not getting the results you want, I mean, that takes a toll on you mentally. It's like, why am I owner of this team if they're gonna keep screwing up in the playoffs? And all this money that he's putting into these players, especially those who don't do their job, who don't perform well, especially during playoffs, you're enabling Dak Prescott to pound you for more money, to hold his services over your head. You're enabling the bad behavior, and it's not right. It's not.
Okay, but you talking like Dak Prescott hasn't won a playoff game. He's at least won one. He's won two.
At least won one or two.
Years. Trevor Lawrence. We like to pile on Dak Prescott, and I get it. You have to be better in the playoffs. I get it, Stephen A. I understand you got to be at your best when it comes to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
But we be up here talking like Dak Prescott is a complete scrub.
No, he ain't a scrub.
Like
he's been in our team for years.
When the pressure mounts in the playoffs.
Okay, and I'm really glad Stephen A. corrected the fact that Dak Prescott does not perform well during playoffs because of the pressure. I mean, that's his kryptonite, is pressure. When the pressure's mounting and people are expecting him to do a good job during playoffs. So Stephen A. is trying to say, we're not treating him like a scrub. He's not a newbie to football. He's been in this for years.
Dak Prescott can ball. That's the crime.
Of course he can.
Now, if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. When do we comment about scrubs? You don't comment about scrubs? Because why talk about them? But the cats that can ball, suddenly when the moment calls for it,
exactly.
Then you can't, that's the crime.
Yeah, exactly.
If Jerry Jones doesn't want to give him the money, then let him walk.
I'm not saying be stupid and let him go, but you might want to trade him for some assets, see what he's worth.
You can't trade him. He has a no-trade clause.
Exactly.
No-trade clause, and that's the problem.
Yeah, the no-trade clause in the contract is another thing that, like, it pisses me off, because it's like, if you're not going to do well on the football team, you should be able to walk away. You should be able to, like, be let go. Jerry Jones should be able to be like, okay, you're not great for our team, you need to leave. And it's like, every year I ask the same question. Every year, like, when we lose in the playoffs, it's like, why can't we trade Dak Prescott? And we heard the answer here, the no trade clause of the contract. He's not tradable. Whoever wrote the contract is a complete idiot. And again, that highlights the fact that Dak Prescott is so manipulative. If he's saying yes to the contract, if he's allowing that no trade clause to be in the contract, then I think it's manipulative. It's like, oh, you're stuck with me, so you gotta pay me this, you gotta pay me that. It's like, you haven't earned that right, first of all. And second of all, whoever wrote the contract, did he write the contract? Did he type it up somewhere on Microsoft Word or Google Docs or whatever? It's like, I want to know who wrote this contract. No trade clause in the contract, and the fact that he got an extension, he is like, Dak, you got what you wanted. You got more money. So that gives you the right to screw up in games like the Saints, like what you guys did in the Saints. And you're going to take it out on the Dallas Cowboys fans by allowing your team to perform so in this game and by not doing your job.
You can't trade him.
And that's the problem.
But Dak Prescott,
can't trade him.
opinion,
and
so
you
he
still
can
can't
ask for
trade
what
him
he
because of
wants.
the extension. You can't trade him because of the $240 million contract. It's extended, so can't trade him. It's like, Jerry Jones, you're the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, and yet you're going to enable stupidity. If I was owner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott was trying to hang his talents over my head, I'd be like, okay, bye. See ya. I don't want you. You're going to be that disrespectful, that entitled. Go. And see how you fare with the other teams.
He wants to go somewhere else. Most of the good teams.
Yeah, if he
quarterbacks.
wants to go somewhere else, does he really want to go somewhere else, or does he want to be paid more? It's like, pick a lane. Do you want to go to another team, or do you want to be paid more? It's like, you know how to manipulate the situation to no end. It's like, oh, I could play for somebody else. I could play for another team. Oh, but I also want more money. It's like, it just sounds so manipulative. I'm sorry. And I know people in the comments, I know that Cowboys fans are going to be in the comments saying, why are you disrespecting Dak Prescott? Well, he's disrespecting the franchise. He thinks he can get away with screwing up during playoffs and even screwing up in week 2 of this NFL season. Somebody needs to hold this guy accountable.
If you're the Dallas Cowboys with Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, rather than just trying to hold a hard line with the money,
yeah, we're trying to justify
Dak
Dak Prescott's value in the Cowboys.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe they think it's Cooper Rush. Maybe they think it's Trey Lance. Because when you talk about paying Dak Prescott $60 million, I'm telling you,
yeah, that is way too much money.
Team that are like, damn. Because it's going to cost us money.
Yeah, it's already costing them money because of the
frustration comes
$240
from when he don't
million.
step up and he's sitting there on the clipboard just looking down. Lift your damn head up. You know you stinking up the joint. Don't be sitting there acting like he's studying.
Colorful commentary.
He's looking at the clipboard like this, like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? No! Lift your head up, let the camera zoom in on you. Let them
laptop.
Lift your head up, let the camera zoom in on you. Let them see how you're really looking and how you really feeling when you're throwing away another playoff season at the expense of cats trying to get paid.
Okay, I'm smiling at this colorful commentary, but at the end of the day, it's sad. It's really sad, and he spoke the truth. He hit the nail on the head. And Cowboys fans that are watching this video telling me that I'm wrong and clicking off this video, click off the video because you know I'm right. October 13. Hopefully it's a fair game this time because we played them last year and there was like a stupid call out, like the referee made a mistake. Lions scored a touchdown and there was like a 2-point conversion that they made, but oh no, somebody didn't report it, and that's why the Cowboys ended up winning. The score was 20-19. So hopefully it'll be a fair game for the both of us. Yeah, shout out to Junior Boy. There he is.